Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off in a child's pose. Bring your big toes together, open your knees a bit wider, walk your hands out long in front of you, and bring your hips back to your heels. Bring your forehead to rest on the mat, and take these first few moments to bring your focus and awareness to your breathing. With every inhale, fill the space between your shoulder blades, and every exhale, allow yourself to sink a bit heavier into the mat. Feel your hips onto your heels and the length of your spine. Take a few more big breaths here, feeling the expansion all through your rib cage. Nice big breath in and full big breath out. We're going to move into what's called a puppy dog pose. Start to crawl your hands forward, come onto the tips of your fingers, bring your chest down to the ground. Now, option to keep your gaze lifted, or you can bring your forehead down to the mat, whatever feels more accessible to you. But you'll be nice and open through your armpits, and your hips should be up into the air. And just find a few breaths here. It may feel a little bit strange or awkward, but really just think of breathing and opening that space into your chest, your heart space, and your armpits. Take a few more big breaths, and then slowly push yourself up to a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and start to find a bit of circular movement, mostly focusing on the shoulders, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. We take about 3 circles in one direction and then go ahead and move 3 circles in the opposite direction. Just finding a bit of range of motion, a little bit of a warm up into the shoulders. And then bring yourself back to a neutral tabletop position. Bring your left hand a little more to the center of your chest and reach your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Take this moment just to open through your chest, open through your heart space. Really think of leaning back onto your left hand. And then thread your right arm underneath your left armpit. Bring your right ear down to the mat. An option to extend your left fingertips so they come forward to the top of your mat. From there, try to rotate your heart space even a bit more up towards the ceiling. Take a nice big breath in and a full big breath out. I'm gonna stay here for a few more breaths. Just feeling this nice stretch and openness into your shoulder, maybe a bit into your neck. Bring your left hand back towards your nose. Press down into your hand, reach your right arm up. And then place your right hand down, and we will swap that to the opposite side. Right hand is down, left arm is up. Nice and open through the chest. And then bring your left hand, your left arm, so it comes underneath your right armpit. Bring your left ear to rest on the ground. And you can walk your right fingertips to the top of your mat. Push down through the back of your left arm and feel that space you can create between your shoulder blades. You're also maybe experiencing a nice bit of stretching all along your left side neck. Take a full big breath in and a full big breath out. And keep those nice big breaths going, feeling a bit of a twist into your upper torso. Really try to rotate your heart space up towards the ceiling. Nice big breath in and full big breath out. And now slowly bring your right hand next to your nose. Push down into your right hand, reach your left arm back up. You're open through the chest. And bring your left hand down back to your tabletop position. From here, bring yourself all the way down onto your belly. You can kind of walk your feet back behind you. Bring your hands so they come outside of your mat, so you're on the tips of your fingers. Push down into your fingertips to lift your heart and your gaze. And then lower your right shoulder. And then push down into your fingertips, lift up through your chest, and then lower your left shoulder. And then continue to alternate side to side. And you don't have to go at my pace, you can go at your own pace here. Just finding a nice bit of opening into each shoulder, chest, pec muscle. And maybe even involving the head and the neck a little bit more, finding a bit of that undulation through your head, through your neck. Let's say we do one more each side. Nice and controlled, nice and open. And now after your last one, bring yourself back to center and just take a moment in center. Bring your gaze up to the ceiling or the sky. And then release yourself all the way down onto your belly. Now from here, interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. We'll do this first with your right thumb hooked on top. Punch your fist back, keep your feet down, but lift your head, your shoulders, your chest away from the mat. So feel the energetic pull of your fists towards your feet. Take a nice big breath here, and then lower your body, and we'll go ahead and switch this up. So switch so your left thumb is on top. May feel a little bit awkward. Push your fist back towards your feet. Lift your chest, your chin, your gaze forward, maybe slightly up. Just take a moment with that, pushing your hip bones into the mat. Give it one more big breath. And slowly lower, release. Hands underneath your shoulders. Push yourself back to tabletop, but bring your forearms down to the ground. Flip your toes under, lift your hips up. Dolphin pose. This is a nice way to open a little bit more into the armpits and the chest. Think of pushing your chest towards your big toes. And you're also possibly feeling a nice bit of stretch through the backs of your legs, maybe into your hamstrings or your calves. Take a few more big breaths here. We will transition, and I'll challenge you by trying to lift both of your elbows at the same time into a downward facing dog. Now, if that doesn't feel quite accessible to you, then try one arm at a time. We're gonna push down into your hands and lift up, downward facing dog. Take a few moments of breath here. This is a really great way to activate the shoulders and at the same time find a nice bit of openness into your chest and your armpits. Walk your feet up towards your fingers, so you're gonna ragdoll forward fold, soften through your knees. Now interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. Try to extend your elbows and maybe let your fist fall just a little bit further back, getting a bit more opening into the shoulders and the chest. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Feel maybe a little bit of a release into your lower back or your hamstrings. Nice big breath in. And full big breath out. Now release your hands, soften your knees. Slowly, slowly roll yourself up to stand. Stack through your spine, your shoulders, chin, and gaze are last to arrive. And once you get to the top, start to find some shoulder rolls up and back. Two shoulders moving at the same time. Find a soft little bend through your knees. We'll take about 4 or 5 shoulder rolls going up and back, and then we'll do the same thing going up and forwards. Just to get a bit more range of motion and a little more freedom into your shoulders. And now from here, we're gonna move this even bigger and use your full arm. So we're gonna start with circles going forward. Arms go forward, up, back, and around. And then the opposite way, arms go back, up, forward, and down. Then continue to move in these two directions. Nice big circles, a nice way to open up through the chest. If your shoulders lift up to your ears, that's no big deal. Just let this motion happen, let this rotation happen. Nice and expansive through the chest, really reach through your fingertips, lots of energy there. And we'll take a few more of these, just going up, back, and down, and then back, up, and forwards. And we'll do a few more here. You don't have to move at my pace, you can move at your own pace. Just whatever's feeling good in your body. After your last one, bring your arms up overhead, grab for your elbows. And I call this shoulder churning. So grab your elbows and start to draw some circles with your upper torso. So you're really catching on to your elbows and just taking this bit of movement into the upper torso. We take like 4 or 5 circles in one direction and then 4 or 5 circles in the opposite direction. And I always like to have a bit of a soft bend into the knees. Find just a few more of these, maybe even finding a nice bit of stretch into your side bodies. And after your last one, bring yourself back to center. Release your arms, open them wide to the side. We're gonna do some big bent over stirs. So separate your feet about shoulder width distance. You can have a bit of a bend with your knees. And then just release your right arm and start to stir through the right arm. Really try to release your shoulder as much as possible. So this may feel kind of heavy, that's okay. We take about 5 or 6 in one direction, 5 or 6 in the other direction. Just try to release your shoulder as much as you can. Let the arm be kind of floppy, very loose. And then swap sides. Again, we're kind of bent over here. You could have a bit of a soft bend through your knees. Really release through the shoulder, nice and floppy, about 5 or 6 in one direction, 5 or 6 in the other direction. Take a few more of these here. And as you stand up, start to take an easy shimmy with your shoulders, just kind of shaking them out. Find a bit of free time, a little free movement with your neck, your shoulders, your chest, whatever you need here. And then reach your arms up overhead. And open your arms, interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. Punch your fists down, bring your gaze up to the ceiling. Bend your knees and forward fold. Release your arms, drop your head. Take a nice big breath in. Take a full big breath out. Take a few more big breaths here. And slowly release your arms. Bring your hands down, step your feet back, and come all the way down onto your belly. Extend your right arm straight out to the side so your palm is pointing down. Bend your left knee, bend your left elbow, and bring your left foot so it comes over to the right side of your body. So you're finding this opening into the right side of your chest and your pec. The more actively you can push down into your left hand, the more stretch you'll find into your right pec. And you can even inch your right fingertips away from your body to get an even bigger stretch. Slowly release. We'll take this on the opposite side. Extend your left arm straight out from your left shoulder. Bend your right elbow and bring your right foot so it comes back behind you. Push down into your right palm. And maybe you try to inch your left fingertips a little further away from your body. And then slowly bring yourself back. Come down to lie on your belly one last time. Interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. Punch your fist towards your feet and lift your head, your neck, your chest. And notice if there's any differences between now and when we did this same exercise at the beginning of the session. Maybe you're able to get your chest a little bit higher. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more open in the front of your body. Slowly release yourself down. Release your hands. And come to lie on your back. So you can just kind of flop yourself over like a pancake. 2 options. Arms can be down by your side. You can find big goalpost arms with your palms pointing up towards the ceiling. Maybe allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And we take these final few moments just to come back into the sensation of your breath. Notice any differences you may feel, maybe physically, maybe mentally, or maybe more specifically with the openness of your chest or shoulders. Find a few more moments of silent, steady breaths with your body. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.